let's pivot into Messi because I think we talked about it off air, and great accomplishment, great World Cup. But I think when you go into the World Cup, you have 32 teams that are competing for the Cup, and you literally have the best case scenario for a World Cup final with comparable to the NBA. We can say that Mbappe is a young LeBron, Messi is the Jordan, and they're facing off to win it all.
I would say it was almost like all the years were always like Kobe LeBron final. Come on, Kobe LeBron final. It never happened. We actually did get it in soccer.
We got it in soccer. The game lived up to the billing. I remember, it was a 7 a.m. game. It was hard for me to wake up. I saw that it was 2-0 Argentina, and I was like, maybe I don't want to tune in. It looks like this is going to be a rout for Messi. My wife says, it's 2-2 now. I'm like, okay, I need to get my booty on the couch and watch the rest of this game. And, man, it was an insane game, and Messi is the winner. And kind of like I think, if you're looking at soccer's pedigree and you have Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, I think Messi and Ronaldo were pretty close, but I think this World Cup now on his resume puts him above Ronaldo.
I think you're right. I also think the other storyline is France going to do the first back-to-back, and how, I think there's only been one other time where there's been back-to-back winners in a World Cup. So Mbappe in France, arguably the best current player in the world, going against kind of the old guard of Messi. I think the only other matchup that people would have really loved to see would have been a Messi-Ronaldo, because it was going to be their last World Cup.
But I think you have the great blend of the next to come, great, and you have the passing of the torch situation, I think. Like, hey, the old guy's going to get one before he goes out. Now it's yours.
I also think that Messi generally is more likable than Ronaldo.
Yes, I agree with that.
Definitely.
I agree with that.
I went out on a limb there.
That's pretty, yeah.
Was that a bold take?
No. That's an accurate take.
Yes. So we look at some of his mega cracks that sold on 6/6/2022. And by the way, that's a population on that one of, I just had it up, of like 19.
Jeez.
So only 19 graded in a 10. So that makes it more rare than a lot of these other cards. So you're comparing it to the championship ticket Brady, which is numbered to 10. That sold for 2.4.
And that has an auto, so not quite a 1-to-1.
Not quite. Yeah. This is probably a better comparison. The 86 Fleer Jordan, granted more on the pop report. Gem 10 sold for 156. So
that has to be a six-figure card, right? Well into.
Messi's is 312,000.
Yeah.
So you could actually have two Jordans to the one Messi, but there's a lot less.
19, right?
19 in PSA 10 right now.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where you buy these packs. This was before. This was not even Panini America. This is Panini Italy. So I don't know where these packs were distributed at. So there may not even have been a lot of it made.
Well, you know what? This is going to be great content, because I may be.
You got a pack?
I have been looking at some flights to Italy for next year for a vacation, and may have to go on the hunt for some Mega Cracks Panini Italian version. Maybe we'll find him. We'll make a whole video out of it. Yeah.
Wow, what a year, though. If you want to consider, I know you don't have him in this slide, but that's LeBron year when LeBron was coming up. So you have LeBron and Messi kind of coming around into the world around the same time, which is crazy. And then you have a orange refractor, probably owned by Vegas Dave, 122,000 on the Mike Trout 2009. So, you do have LeBron on this slide. You have a X-Fractor. That's
10.
BGS 10 pristine, which that's got to be a low pop. 252,000, so getting pretty close. And I believe the X-Fractors were numbered to 250. So there's only 250 in existence, not even counting what they're graded at.
There was just a gold LeBron had just sold.
Really?
Yeah.
But, I'm with the pop report at 19, it seems like I think that's a pretty reasonable price. Not that anybody has 312,000.
I was gonna go. I got 300,000 burning a hole in my pocket. Sign me up. Find me one, Doug.
And that's in June, so I gotta think there's maybe a slight bump. I know the industry's going down, but cards like that being so rare, the elite of the elite card collectors are bidding those ones up. I don't know if you guys have taken the time to, the World Cup is coming to the Americas in 2026, and there's, I think, 16 locations of where they're going to have games. They are doing 48 teams now. So we are going from 32 to 48. So that includes 16 more teams. So you're going to have, I mean, you think Qatar's team was bad. I mean, yeah, granted, they were the host city. I mean, you're probably going to have teams like smaller countries just getting in. So supposedly what they have proposed is instead of doing a 4-team group match, they're doing a 3-team group match. So you're only playing 2 games in the first round. But what they're saying is the soccer committee is worried about collusion because it's a lot easier to collude in a 3-team bracket than it is to
So
collude.
would it only be one team that makes
I
it
think
out of?
2 makes it out of there.
Boy, you are playing with fire there. Like, be careful what you ask for. I mean, Argentina won the World Cup and did it. I mean, obviously the final was pretty incredible, but after, like, did it in pretty dominating fashion, and yet lost to Saudi Arabia in the first game. Like, if that was going by this rules, there's a chance they wouldn't have even made it out of the group stage.
Right.
I don't know about
I
that.
think it's still up for discussion, but I think the 48 team is a guarantee. So I know Levi Stadium here where we're located is going to have anywhere from 5 to 8 games.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round, the last game, Argentina had a really good chance of getting knocked out and not
Yes.
going to the next round. We were watching that game here at the
Yes.
at the shop. Like,
So, yeah, you're basically – and then you're going to go probably because you're only playing 2 games, you're going to go by – there's going to be a lot of ties. There's going to be a total goal differential at that point. And then there may be a lot of – so we'll see how they it shakes out. But then,
I mean, but you follow the dollar signs, right? More teams,
more eyeballs.
games, more venues.
Yeah, that's all it's all
I
about.
mean, more ad revenue. Let's. I mean,
Yes.
I'm actually surprised this hasn't happened before.
It's possible they probably. I mean, I have to dig into it, but I would not be shocked if they wanted to do this for this tournament. But because of the conditions where it had to be during the winter time and it's interrupting so many different seasons, that it would not have been feasible.
and
Whereas
also-
interrupting like what MLS and
Also,
a
I
couple
think
summer-
they only
nothing
had
to do.
like 4 venues, right?
Yes.
Where the next World Cup. I mean,
So
I
many
looked at the
venues.
map and it's.
Yeah, I believe there's 3 Mexico venues
And there's-
2
and-
Canada venues.
And then there is a ton in the U.S. I
yeah,
mean,
it's from New York all the way.
Yeah,
to
I would say
here.
there had to be probably on that map. There had to be at least 20 venues, 25.
No, there's
venues.
16 total.
16 venues?
16 total venues. But back to Leo Messi. I mean, what's your take on this, Cody? With all these prices compared to some of these other GOAT cards?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I've been thinking like, I mean, the pop report for that specific card, and I think just in general, probably a lot of highly graded Messi cards is so much lower than this stuff. I mean, if money is not an object, in a way, I think like stuff like maybe Brady and LeBron, I still might lean towards investing in that long term, but like Messi might be the third guy at this point, considering where that price was in June and where you got to imagine it's going to go now. I think he now is in that like blue chip investment sort of realm.
I think you
of
also
sports
have to
cards.
look at it as soccer and being an international market.
Yes.
As opposed to, I mean, LeBron you could say basketball, pretty international. But Brady, I mean,
It's limited.
limited.
I mean, right now might not be the time to buy Messi because the prices are really high, but you got to think with the 2026 World Cup, how many fans is that going to turn? Like, how many kids are going to become in America, North America, Mexico,
Well,
and Canada?
the last time the U.S. is hosted was '94, right? And I think, I mean, I remember that. I remember like it seemed like. And it seemed like that was kind of the start of soccer, really, from a commercial standpoint, domestically here, where you just started seeing people really talk about soccer here in the States. And it kind of just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I think the next World Cup is when it takes even that next step. I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, you
And the U.S. team is young,
yeah.
and they're good, and you give them 4 more years, like they could even get better.
And all the things that could happen in between. You've got another Women's World Cup where we know Team USA is
Really good.
Are the best in the world, and the ratings for the last one were huge. Got to imagine it's going to be bigger, and there's just going to be a lot of momentum. You're right, building.
There was. I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't remember the '94 season or the '94 World Cup.
Remember it like it was yesterday.
They had 9 locations. They had the Rose Bowl. They had Stanford. They had Pontiac, Silverdome, Giants Stadium, the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Soldier Field, the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Foxborough in Massachusetts, and Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium in Washington. So expanding it this time around to 7 more stadiums and getting Mexico and Canada involved as well. So it's gonna be bigger. It's gonna be huge.
Gonna be big.
And I'm thinking about all the collectors that are gonna start from that. You know what I mean? That are gonna be 6-7 years old, like excited to watch Mbappe.
And then leading up to it, right? Like, again, we're expanding it to 48 countries. So there's going to be, like this year, I mean, we saw there was players that you would normally be chasing in a lot of the products that came out, but their team didn't make the World Cup.
Well, yeah, like Erling Haaland.
Norway
didn't make it.
Yeah, that probably is not going to be the case in 4 years. Like, those teams, if they're decent, even if they have a superstar, they're probably going to make it.
Yes. Last little bit about Messi. I would obviously be monitoring his cards. Like right now, this is probably the worst time to buy because the prices are all on that World Cup fever. But
any predictions, by the way? Sorry to interrupt, but I just was thinking, any prediction? Because this card there's going to be one of these cards, a 9 or a 10, that probably hits an auction house at some point in the next couple months. Where does this land in this? We saw upwards of 2 million. We saw as low as 120,000, and it is a down market. It's not going to go to 1 million, but
no, I think it's safe to say it's a 500,000 maybe.
Yeah,
I think it's somewhere in the half a milli, maybe slightly over.
I mean, the card itself does show him, and the photo choice is great, but it looks like it's a cheap card in my opinion. I don't know. The design wasn't the greatest. I mean, granted, it's 2004, and they probably didn't make a lot of it. Didn't put a lot of resources into making soccer cards at that time. But
does it have a rookie card logo?
It does not.
No.
So it's just his first known card and widely accepted as the rookie card for Messi.